All-in-African Conference. But they didn't know who was going to address that meeting. And then there was a reporter here there were an Indian reporter and a white reporter. They went through the ceiling to the back window and they entered on the stage. And everybody thought that because that person was a white person, they thought that white person was going to be the keynote speaker from the ANC, and they clapped. Just to find it was the wrong person. Then after a while, Madiba comes and walks in. Everybody shocked. That is how Madiba comes to address the people All-in-African Conference. Don't forget that date, March 1961. Okay? Yes. It's a very important date because an extension was made, an invitation was made to all the people to come and join hands. Let us together find a way forward. But they didn't. But remember, that was in 1961. But in March 1960, in April 1960, 67 people were killed at Sharpeville because people said we can't carry passes. African people had to carry a pass. If you didn't have to carry a pass, they arrested you. When ask your mothers and go ask your grandparents about the past, which we call the badge of slavery. See, you are young people. You don't know what our history is because we don't talk about it. Go and talk to your parents. Your parents are the best historians. They will tell you what freedom is all about. And they will tell you why it is important that you must register to go and vote and cast your vote as a free person. Please, you must do that because you are our future. If you do not understand why Madiba and others took that bold decision in December 1961 to embark in an armed struggle, MK, when Madiba became the commander-in-chief, if you don't understand that, people are going to come and tell you different stories about the history of our people, about the history of Madiba, about the history of the ANC, and about the history of the liberation movement. So you must go, Google all this. All of you have got computers, you got cell phones. Understand, invite people to come and talk to you, because you must know your history. If you don't know your history, I can come and bluff you about your past. I can say there was no such things. If you went to a town, you could not sit on the same bench because they say whites only. So Africans, Indians, and colors could not sit on that bank. That is how bad it was. Jobs, opportunities, now it is opened up for you. You can become a doctor, a lawyer, an architect, a pilot. Right? Our time, it was very, very difficult. You had to get permission from the apartheid regime, the Mulungus. They were in charge of everything. I'm sorry for using the word, but that was how it was seen. Right? So effectively, that is how it was. So then in 1962, prison. Who's? Mandela. Okay. Uganda. You say one more time, Amanda. Okay. Which shows that there is some history amongst you if you respond to that salute, Yabonga, right? But we are also saying that just to remember these names is not good enough. Who is Baba Madiba? For 67 minutes we will be here trying to paint the school and getting involved. But you must also do me one big favor. For 67 minutes today, think about who is Baba Madiba. What sacrifices did he and his companions and his comrades made to ensure that we are free? You've got to think about who we are celebrating. What were his thoughts? What were his ideals? And why we celebrate and why the world has embraced him as an international icon, an international leader. Madiba is the embodiment. The word embodiment, he represents, he symbolizes all the political leaders that South Africa produced. From John Dube, who was the founder of the ANC, to all the presidents of the ANC. From Mahatma Gandhi, to Yusuf Dadu, to all of the leaders. Joe Slovo, Abraham Fisher, all of leaders. Moses Mabhida, our own Moses Mabhida, who used to live just down the road. Baba Hari Gwala used to live up Dambuza. These were great leaders. Great leaders who made freedom. And what sacrifices did they make? So it is not easy for us to come here and to remind you. But this is our duty. Because freedom and memories of freedom is short-lived. But you must be reminded that how important that freedom to participate in a country that is free, the sacrifice people have made. The other people who were murdered in detention. People who were assassinated. And Africans, Indians, coloreds and whites participated. You must know the history. Because nowadays, people are denying what we stood for. Our Constitution and the Freedom Charter stand for what? A non-racial, non-sexist, democratic South Africa. The one thing Madiba has contributed to the world. And Madiba himself, when he was freed, he said, I do not speak only for myself, but I speak for all the comrades who together with me championed the cause of fighting for freedom and justice. But he represented a powerful blow against racism. And that is why the international community embraced him. Because he said, we must learn to live, learn to love. And if you were taught to hate, you can also be taught to love. That were his words. And effectively what we are saying to all of us today, that when we're celebrating 67 years, 67 minutes, we are saying every year represents, or every minute must represent a year in his life. It is too long for you to live his life. But the 67 minutes, you must understand and discuss who is Madiba. Who gave Madiba birth politically? He himself will admit it was the African National Congress. He himself will admit that he got involved with people who are free thinking and gave him an understanding to meet people that the apartheid regime denied him. In terms of meeting Indians, African colors and white freely. Hence, he became an international icon that the world respected. So your responsibility, our responsibility, our collective responsibility is what? To understand why we are free. How is it possible that there is no civil war going on? How is it that we are still living together? But still, Madiba himself said it, President Jacob Zuma himself is saying it, that there are three challenges: inequalities, unemployment, and poverty. We have got political freedom, but we don't have economic and social freedom. There are huge inequalities between us. So there are huge challenges. But we are saying together, we must find a way forward. And that is what it is all about. There are people who are involved in bad practices in terms of drug abuse, alcohol, drug abuse, in abusing our mothers and abusing our children, abusing women. And there's also corruption going on. But we must address those issues in a way that now you, the future leaders, must say, we are going to make sure that we will continue fighting the vision for a better life for all. For 67 minutes now, you must think out how you're going to pick up the spear, how you become the soldiers of the future, how you are going to say, I must continue learning, I must continue being part of the education process that will ensure that I become a better person to make sure that the people that I live with and the people I represent are going to improve their quality of life. That is who Mariba is. So with those few words, Mr. Principal, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to come and talk to you here. Thank you.